This is going to be a quick little video, at least I hope it is, about my predictions for WrestleMania 35. And I'm going to start off with Brock versus Seth for the Universal title. I don't see Seth walking out of WrestleMania with the title. Brock is too strong, and he has beaten The Undertaker. He's the first man to beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. He became the conqueror of the streak, and I just don't think they have built Seth up enough to be the one to defeat the man who beat the streak. So Brock is going home with the title. I'm actually happy about that because, well, Brock Lesnar is my favorite guy, and I'm not saying that I think he's gonna win because he's my favorite guy. I'm just saying he's gonna win because he's the streak killer. Like, you don't need a better argument to win at WrestleMania than, hey, I'm the guy who beat the streak. Number two is Buddy Murphy versus Tony Nese. Now, I never really get the chance to watch the cruiserweights. I have respect for them, but at the same time, I just don't have time to watch 205 Live. But the one example I do have of watching them was at Survivor Series. I got to go there live, and I watched Buddy Murphy versus Mustafa Ali, I believe, and they tore the house down. Like so many people were chanting 205 Live, and like even every review on YouTube, or most of the reviewers on YouTube, were like, this was a pretty good cruiserweight match, a pretty good showing for the cruiserweights. So since it was Buddy Murphy in that match that, really got me interested in the cruiserweights and showed me what they can do, I'm gonna go with Buddy Murphy. Triple H versus Batista. If Triple H loses, then he must retire from in-ring competition, and I don't see Triple H losing. I believe he has a few more good WrestleMania matches in him, and he's always putting over younger talent. But if you look back over the past few years, it's when he faced the guys who didn't need a good push, like Brock Lesnar or Sting, when he won the match. And, he's lost every WrestleMania match he's been a part of since he beat Sting at WrestleMania 31. That is like 3 or 4 years of losses, so he's due for a win. So Triple H, he will win. Maybe they will take their rivalry into Saudi Arabia at the Saudi Arabia at the Greatest Royal Rumble. I especially don't think Batista is going to be one and done. I think he'll have one, maybe 2 or 3 big matches to come this year. But yes, Triple H will be winning. Kurt Angle versus Corbin in Kurt Angle's announced retirement match. I believe it's going to be Corbin winning because, like, there's nothing Angle has to prove now. He's done everything. It'd be nice for him to give someone like Corbin a big win at WrestleMania. Like, Corbin needs a good push. With everything that the company has done for him, it's just time for them to do something new with Corbin. So Angle loses, puts Baron Corbin over, and we will see something come out of it for Corbin, or at least I hope. Shane versus Miz. It's a Falls Count Anywhere match. I would like to say that Miz wins because he's one of my favorite superstars. I think he has the best wrestling theme of anyone, but I'm going to have to go with Shane Hill because it is essentially his company. He is a McMahon, and he has the power to do whatever he wants, especially in a Falls Count Anywhere match. So he'll probably have Sanity or some other tag team rating to ambush Miz, and then Shane will get the pinfall thanks to them doing the dirty work. So, Miz, I'm sorry, I really like you as a superstar, but I'm going to have to go with Shane on this one. AJ versus Randy, I think it's just a normal one-on-one grudge match. I'm going to go with Randy just because AJ, he has been shown to have some vulnerability, especially against the bigger names like Roman and Chris Jericho. You know, Randy is up there with those guys. And there have been times where AJ let his confidence in his moveset get the better of him. As we saw this last Tuesday on SmackDown, he tried to go for the phenomenal forearm and Randy turned it into an RKO. I think we will see that spot again at Mania, but I think Randy is gonna do something different to tone it around at the last second and get the pin or maybe even the submission on AJ. And side note here, if they already did the phenomenal forearm into the RKO on SmackDown, then just imagine the big move they have planned for the whoever wins it to, go home the winner at the end of the match on Sunday. Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. I feel bad for this match and its legacy because it has a bad legacy when it was meant to be a great one. Hopefully they can tone that around this year and have the winner actually do something. I think the winner who benefited most from it over the years was Matt Hardy, and that's just because I don't really think they've done anything with him since he won it last year. He's like in the same spot he was a year ago. He's in the Battle Royale once again, and surprisingly, that's like the best they've done with a Battle Royale winner. So hopefully they can tone the legacy of it around. If I had to choose, I would have to say either Braun Strowman or one of the SNL guys, because especially since the WWE said or someone started a rumor that the WWE has some swerves waiting in the wings for us. So I'm gonna have to say if that's what they do, if they have a swerve waiting for us at the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale, it will probably be them bringing Nicholas back, and somehow he manages to win it all. I'm not. It's just a prediction. The WWE has done stranger moves when it came to booking WrestleMania, so we will have to wait and see about that. If it's not Nicholas, then maybe Braun Strowman. I can't even remember anyone else that is in the match except Matt Hardy. Yeah, I believe it's Matt Hardy. Moving on, we have Kofi versus Daniel, and I think it's Kofi who's gonna win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. He has so much momentum under him, and I think the next pay-per-view is the Saudi Arabian show, and I don't believe Daniel Bryan's going to that because of what happened last year. He also didn't go. So given with that logic, I'm gonna say Kofi will be taking the title into the Saudi Arabian show. I don't know if he will be retaining it afterwards or for a long time, but it'd be nice to see Kofi have his moment. The fans want it. I'm sure a lot of the superstars in the back want it, and given what I believe is going to happen with Brock and Seth, they want the fans to have at least one feel-good moment of the night, and so I'm going to say that feel-good moment will go to Kofi. Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio, or I think it's Rey Mysterio. I know he got injured, and now the match is up in the air, but this is going to be Samoa Joe's first ever WrestleMania match. Like, he just wasn't written in the show the first year he was here, and then he was injured last year. So, just going off the logic that it's his first WrestleMania match, and he just won the U.S. Championship just a few weeks ago, I say that they're going to have him retain and defeat Rey Mysterio or whoever his opponent's going to be. Roman versus Drew, I'm going to go off of kind of the same logic that I did with Shane and Miz. If it's going to be a clean finish, then it's going to be Roman, and he's going to, gain another victory at WrestleMania, especially since he lost to Brock last year, and we all thought he was going to win that one. He's, the old Cena got his win back. Roman's going to get his win back if it's going to be a clean finish. Maybe Drew will low blow him when the referee isn't looking. but I think it's going to be a clean finish, and it's going to go to Roman. Bobby Lashley versus Finn. This is a little harder to call than the U.S. Championship. Maybe it will be. It is kind of hard to say. I Finn. I'm just like coin tossing that. Coin tossing that. I'm gonna say Finn. We'll have to wait and see what the WWE came up for it. Women's Battle Royale. If they end up not putting Asuka as a surprise entrant into the women's main event, even though she deserves it, I'm gonna say Asuka will win this one, but at the same time, I can see Vince and WWE Creative trolling us even more, especially with the backlash they faced with Asuka, and they're gonna be punishing the fans. And I could easily see them having Asuka be one of the earliest competitors thrown out. So I'm gonna go with Asuka just because I believe she needs a victory. She needs a big moment at WrestleMania. So hopefully they decide not to troll the fans, and they don't try to punish Asuka, and they will hopefully give her the win. And when I say troll the fans, I mean just like completely disregard everything Asuka has accomplished since she came to the WWE, and they just make her, if she's gonna lose at whatever position she's at, if they just make her loss seem completely insignificant, and like not important in the least. Next is Usos versus Ricochet and Aleister Black versus The Ball versus Shinsuke and Rusev. I'm gonna say Ricochet and Aleister Black because they need something to do. Like, otherwise they would have brought them up for nothing. So I'm gonna go with Ricochet and Aleister Black, especially after what happened with the Usos a couple weeks ago on SmackDown when they forfeited. It's gonna have to be like, I could see something happening to where the Usos get reprimanded for that finally. Alexa Bliss even came out and said it this week that there's gonna be repercussions for the Usos, and she put them in the Fatal 4-Way tag match, and so the odds are stacked against them now. If we're going to go with this storyline, then I would say give the guys who need a push, and that is Ricochet and Aleister Black, the gold heel. Next is... Oops, sorry. Hang on, guys. The Bus and Hug Connection versus Beth Phoenix and I believe it's Natalia versus the Iconics versus Nia Jax and Tamina. And that's like such a mouthful to say. Let's see. I would love for them to give it to the Iconics because I actually like the Iconics, but there's so many factors going into this. I don't think it's going to be Nia Jax and Tamina. There's no point. But like the Boston Hard Connection, they just won it at, it was like Elimination Chamber or Fastlane, so it hasn't been that long. If they really want to build the women's division up or the women's tag division up, then they would want their first ever women's tag team champions to have a legitimate long title reign. So given that logic, I'm gonna go with the Boston Hard Connection. But then it doesn't really make sense to me why they brought Beth Phoenix back if they weren't gonna give her a big moment or push it for no reason. It just doesn't make sense to me. So with that said, I am gonna say Boston Hard Connection, although I would be okay with the Iconics as said before. And finally, the women's main event, Ronda Rousey, the Raw champion, versus Charlotte, the SmackDown champion, and Becky Lynch, the women's Royal Rumble winner. Like I said in my previous video, if they decide to make this match for both belts, like I thought they were saying unification match but other people online have told me no, it's just gonna be whoever wins is just gonna become a double champion. So, be that as it may, I still can see them giving Charlotte both belts. I don't see them giving it to Becky, and I don't see Wanda retaining. I can only see them, if it's not going to be Becky who wins, I can see it being Charlotte who wins both belts. Just because, her name is Flair, she's handed everything. And what is the point of taking the SmackDown Championship off of Asuka, giving it to Charlotte, just so she's gonna lose it in the main event of WrestleMania, on top of her being a Flair 2 weeks later? I just don't see that happening. I'm sorry. Like, I would love for Becky to be the one to win this, especially if they're not gonna put Asuka in it. But I feel like they're going to give it to Charlotte. Like, the first ever main event of WrestleMania, they just put her in that for no reason, at least from kayfabe. Her last name is Flair, and she just won the championship. But I believe they want her to have as many big moments as they can give her, including becoming the woman to win not one but 2 title bouts in the first ever main event of WrestleMania. So even though it's gonna leave a very bad taste in my mouth after Mania concludes, I do believe it's going to be Charlotte Flair walking out of Mania with both titles. Okay, so I think that's every match. I know there was like 15 matches I just covered, but I heard somewhere that it was like 16, 17 matches, at least until like Samoa Joe's match apparently got canceled, but who knows. But I do believe that was 15 matches I just covered. I think I was able to give my reasons for all of them. So that's, I'm excited for Mania despite some minor drawbacks. I am excited for it. This is going to be a fun weekend, and hopefully the WWE can give us all something that we end up remembering this show with fond memories for. So happy WrestleMania week, everyone, and that's, I'll have fun with it.